Well, a pleasant good morning to you all. Monday, the 10th day of August, 2026. It is now 3:44. Wonderful time to discuss our topic this morning. And for the next hour or so, we're going to look at a very, very important topic here, which is ancient soul and witchcraft. I welcome my TikTok viewers, my Facebook viewers, and my viewers on YouTube as we stream right around the world. Let me put up my disclaimer. Let me say it verbally. My life is not for nonsense. My life is not for yege yege and slander. My life is for those that want to have an intelligent discussion and that we can come to an understanding of who we are as a people. Okay? That is why I choose this hour of the morning to bring forth to you my live streaming. Okay? Because I'm trying to avoid the yege yege, the blah blah, the this and the that, which is not putting us anywhere. And I saw them as useless. So this morning, we are going to look at witchcraft, witchcraft, and the ancient souls. Now, in recent time, we heard the discussion of witchcraft. We knew we knew the word witchcraft, but have we stopped to think? Had have we stopped to think what is witchcraft? Hmm? What is witchcraft? Have we ever stopped to look and put both words together and to come up with a true meaning of witchcraft? Ancient soul. What is ancient soul? Hmm? What is ancient soul? And what is witchcraft? Are you ready this morning? Oh, Father, in the name of the living God, we ask for your presence as we try to shed some light and enlighten some people of the hidden treasure of knowledge. Father, you may ask that you anoint every word I'm about to speak, and that you anoint me from the crown of my head into the sole of my feet. All the devices that has been used in this live streaming, all the equipments, Father, I ask that you put all negative spirit under subjection as your people would want to have the knowledge But we know, Almighty God, that we'll be tackled by the opponents, those that oppose, those that live from the dark world who doesn't want light to shine in their space, for it will bring the revelation of whom they are. We ask that you put them under subjection and even further to let they surrender and confess of their wrongs in Jesus Christ of Nazareth name. Amen. Yes. So we're going to look at ancient soul and witchcraft. But before we look, we're going to cap it with the words of Solomon from Ecclesiastes chapter 3. It said, everything that happens in this world happens as the as everything that happens in this world happens at the time God chooses. Right? There is nothing wrong with that. Right? Everything that happens at the time God chooses it. So if you are just getting this lesson, then it is not too late, because what goes around, it will comes around. And there is, I'm looking for where he said, nothing new has happened in this world. It's just a cycle and a recycle. And as it were in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Now, the dispensations of time mean it coming round and round. Black men were at the helm at creation. When they have power, utilizes their power until that dispensation of time has carried them at the extreme bottom. If you look at West Indies cricket, you would have a fair example of what I'm saying. West Indies were riding high in the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, the 60s. And they are now at the bottom of the table, and the other nations are making them look like they did not play the game before, right? Because of the dispensation of time. Now, the time is now coming back around, or the dispensating to as it were from the beginning, right? Nothing new, right, has happened in the world. The philosopher said that it is useless. Useless, said the philosopher. Life is useless, all useless. You spend your life working, laboring, and what do you have to show for it? Generation comes and generation goes, but the world stays just the same, right? The sun still rises and it still goes down, yeah? Going rarely back to where it must start all over again. That's the dispensation of time. The wind blows south, the wind blows north, round and back again. Every river's flow in the sea, but the sea is not yet full. The water returns to where the rivers began and start all over again. Everything leads to awareness too great, too great, too great for words. Our eyes can never see enough to be satisfied. Our ears can never hear enough. What has happened before will happen again. What has been done before will be done again. There is nothing new in the world. Look, they say, here is something new. But no, it has all happened long before we were born, said the philosopher. So, ancient soul, that's where we are. Nothing new. Who then advises us? Whose where does intelligence comes from? Who bring us the report before we were born? We're talking about untampered history, the authentic history. Come on, come with me. Help me to look this morning. Right? How do we get the knowledge, the authentic knowledge of what happens before we were born? It must coming from the ancient soul, the ancients of days. Is artificial intelligence? Is it a new thing? Is artificial intelligence new? New? Hmm? Hmm. Everything leads to awareness. Awareness too great for words. Hmm. Right? Hmm. Everything leads to awareness. Awareness too great for words, but our eyes can never see enough to be satisfied our ears. To be satisfied, our ears can never hear enough. Verse 9 of Ecclesiastic 1 said, what has happened before will happen again. Right? So is artificial intelligence a new thing? My ancient soul, the one, the the source I depend on for my intelligence is my ancient souls. Right? And they said to me, my ancient souls had said to me, no, artificial intelligence is nothing new. Artificial intelligence were here from its in the creation of the world. AI. Yes, but it takes a different turn. Artificial intelligence, it is more modernized now. Artificial intelligence were invented to upset and disrupt the official intelligence. And because from creation, disobedient, God is the sole architect of life. Man can build statue. Man can carve out everything just like the bees and the wasp. The wasp can make the comb but can't make the honey. A man could make a man, but could not blow the breath. So artificial way of blowing breath or make life goes into man were known as artificial insemination. Artificial insemination. Because they could not blow breath the official way of giving life to man. They try AI, intelligence. And from there on, artificial intelligence has been close marking the official intelligence. Yes, artificial intelligence has been close marking the official intelligence. In other words, or in competition with the official intelligence. What do I mean? All right. We all now then have to look at the word witch and the word craft. The word witch and the word craft. When you think about a witch, you would think about someone who is rich in certain things, sometimes knowledge. Yes, rich in knowledge. So that individual becomes a standout. And with what he had achieved through the creation of the universe, right? The knowledge. He used the knowledge to compete against the creator's inception or creation. Yes. So the word crafty, craft, one says, well, you are crafty. And if they do not want to use the word crafty, what word they use? Subtle. Subtle or genial. Genial means close to genius. You know things. Yes? Yeah? Yeah, you know things. Called the word genius coming from Genesis. The ancient souls of when the universe were created. That is the highest level of intelligence, that source, right? That is the official intelligence that today man is downgrading for artificial intelligence. The official intelligence had placed on the back bench, while artificial intelligence been touting everywhere on the lips of everyone. And no one seems to be taking a glance at the official intelligence that provided the space and the energy to invented artificial intelligence. Let it soak, because this knowledge, they are not common to the people, because they are not meditating, they are just imitating. They are not meditators, they are imitators. And witchcraft, the witchcrafters, their job is to disrupt your meditation for you to see the light. So they are disruptors, destructors, right? Not constructors, but destructors. They are not honest, but they are dishonest. Right? Because what brings about the dishonesty is the truth of whom is number one, or what is number one. So they craftily made up story and fix it so neatly. That's how you get fictions. Facts are fiction. So they fix the truth so neatly that it resembles the truth. Right? But not having the effects of the truth. And we use the wasp and the bees as an example. The bees make the comb and make the honey. Honey is one of Earth's capital medicine. The wasp can only make the comb, but cannot make the honey. That shows some domination, predominant, right? Dominion, right? Right? That will never change. No witchcraft worker can ever make the wasp make honey. None. As crafty as you have not seen them and know them, but they cannot make the wasp makes honey. And if that cannot happen, then witchcraft word working is false, evilous, right? Misleading, damaging, right? And that is where the world is at today. witchcraft. One that studies things and changes its apparatus. One that studied the universe. For instance, if the universe spun clockwise, witchcraft said we are going to spun it anti-clockwise. We are not going in the direction that they are going. We are going to go the other way so that we can, hear the word again, disrupt the flow, right? Disrupt the flow, right? So, yeah. So, witchcraft is to disrupt the flow because one goes clockwise and the other goes anti-clockwise. Anti mean not going that way, right? Not, right? Now, if your vocab is not quick enough, if it is not quick enough, let me take it to the football World Cup that recently concluded, and millions of people around the world glued to their television. So, what I'm going to teach here now, it is not hard for you to comprehend, right? When the striker got the ball to take it to the goal, the opposing side, the defenders, they have defenders all around to stop the goal from score, right? So you call that competition, right? Competition, right? I want to score. My opponent said, no, don't score the goal. You're not going to put the ball in that net. That's why the defenders are there. So, whoa, witchcraft is the opposition to the ancient souls. I want you to get it. Right? Witchcraft. Let me just rub it in. Witchcraft, the craftiness of men, right? Or opposing the teachings, the reachings, the operating of the ancient soul who has the official knowledge of everything. If you want to call them your ancestors, you're free. Because when we said ancient soul is our same, and when we refer to our ancestors, that's who we are referring to. Right? Right? But don't worry to think, never you ever think that they are not in competition or hazardous method hasn't been set up. But one thing we are certain of, Witchcraft never wins. Witchcraft never wins. Witchcraft only appears to be a winner. In other words, the negative never won. It only appears to be a winner. But their victory never real. It's like when it's like when you hijack an election, right? You hijack the election with crafty methodology, crafty planning, crafty everything. That's witchcraft. When, in other words, if you don't want to use the word witchcraft, remember you can use word subtle, subtle thoughts, subtle operations, right? Yeah. So when people are subtle, when people are subtle, it does not appear that they are doing something wrong. I subtly put on the jacket on the t-shirt, even though I knew that this type of dressing is not for us in the tropical climate. This type of dressing were designed for the more colder climate, right? No one in Jamaica, I'm talking Jamaica and the Western Hemisphere, which is more of a tropical nature, aren't supposed to be dressing like this. So I'm really subtle this morning, and the reason why, because I know of how you were taught, right? You were taught to respect the jacket and the tie. Yes. And once I have on the jacket and the tie, then I will get a few more notice. Yes. So I subtly dressed like this to grab your attention. And especially the not so knowledgeable one. The knowledgeable one would have known exactly what I just said. But those who are not knowledgeable, I won't get that from. Where not go sit down? They don't even know their dress code. They don't even know that they are living in a tropical climate. And all this dressing was given to us and forced upon us by our colonizers. Those that colonize. Oh, they do not understand the word colonized. Yeah? They do not know that we were forced to dress this way because of the geographical borders where our slave masters are from. Right? So this is how they dressed to avoid the cold. And they bring that over to us here where the climate doesn't fit this type of dressing. In other words, in other words, it is stupid for someone to dress in a three-piece suit, jacket, shirt, marina. Oh, glory be to God. Almighty God. That- Come on, man. Oh, help me this morning. No, help me this morning, ancient soul. Help me this morning. Because more and more I saw the stupidity of our leaders. Eh? Yes. Witchcraft they have on us. Witchcraft still exists in us. Yes. You have on a marina, you have on a shirt, then you have on a vest and the jacket, and you went to parliament, or you went in the sanctuary dressing like that, and you want to get cool, and you have to turn up the AC. You have to turn it up at a higher level, yes, for you to feel cool. Well, you didn't have to do that, considering the fact you know your climate, you know where you are, you know who you are, right? You are on a circuit, a more warmer temperature. No one should ever tell you how to dress to feel comfortable. And these people give you their dress code, say, we colonize you, we clone you. You know if you look like we, you know if you talk like we, you know if you act like we, you know if you wicked like we, you know if you do everything like we, because we clone our way. Right? And that is the biggest victory they ever have. Yeah? This is the sweetest moment they ever had when they saw we like a puppet on a string. When they saw us as we are following them and not leading them, then they said that's how we taught them that the cow jumped over the moon. We came, we saw, we conquered them. Remember the word conquest? That's what it means. When you're reading the Bible, you see the word conquest. Yeah. When you see the word colonized, clone means human cloning, and they cloned us with their language, which is English, right? They clone us with their education to change us from whom we are by teaching us their brand of education for their colder climate. That's why we here dress like this, because we were educated that way. I'm telling you, straight from my ancient soul. Now, for a lot of you, nonsense in my talk, because for a lot of you, is the first time you ever get the opportunity to look at yourself in a real way and to say, but wait, at you. No, but you were taught to be biased. You're not going to say that. You were taught to not listen to the truth. That's witchcraft. That's the energy that is competing with you. not to believe in yourself. That's witchcraft. Not to drink the roots, not to drink the dog blood. They teach you to drink human blood and not the bush, the vine, dog blood. They teaches you that the vineyards, the vine, the herb is not good for you, and they provide you with pills as its alternative. That's witchcraft. Showing to us a white Jesus is witchcraft. Why? Because a man is a fool to what he don't know. They teaches you not to listen the the voice of the ancient souls. The ancient soul is your authentic teacher. Your ancient, the same one you call your ancestors. Those are, you remember the song that ancients of days, right? Mean long time before you were born, right? They have that artifacts, right? That cannot be damaged or dissipated, even though they make several attempts. That's why Timbuktu in Mali were destroyed. They, the university that teaches you about your ancient soul. So they did not want that teaching to reach to 2026. So they try to damage or destroy the facts of creation. Right? Right? But with the truth of predominate, the dominance and dominion, no way they could destroy the truth. The ancient soul kept those artifacts safe and sound, that it is still accessible to those who really seeking knowledge and not being carried away in this time by their artificial intelligence. And you're seeking and sticking to the original. But the philosopher said, it is useless. Useless, said the philosopher. Life is useless, all useless. You spend your life working, laboring, and what do you have to show for it? Generations come and generations go, but the world stayed just the same. The sun still rises and it still goes down, going rarely back to where it must start all over again. Come on, artificial intelligence. Please go and change that for me. Artificial intelligence. Please go and change the sun from rising in the east and going down in the west. Artificial intelligence, please. You claiming that you are the predominant one now. Artificial intelligence, come on. Right? Artificial intelligence, please. Let's go a little further. The wind blows south and the wind blows north, round and round and back again. Right? That is the hurricane, right? 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 Remember hurricane, the eye, this round and round and round. Artificial intelligence, make one. Mm-mm. Every rivers flow into the sea, but the sea is not yet full. Artificial intelligence, control them things I'm missing out, right? Right? Artificial intelligence make an ocean, right, that cannot run dry. Come on. Come on, artificial intelligence. The intelligence that you are now cloning people with want us to disregard our ancient teachings, right? The official teachings of our ancient soul. That is what you are subtly asking me to forget when you keep pushing down artificial intelligence on me, right? Asking me to forget my originality, right? That's what you're telling me. Yeah? That is what you're telling me. And that is why today back becomes front and front becomes back. Lie becomes truth and truth becomes lie. That's why when you talk of certain things, TikTok manual, when you talk the truth of how we came, they say it is sexuality because we have people here teaching other things. And TikTok is in support with them because they banned us, they shadow banned us, they restrict us when we are teaching the truth. And so that is against our community guidelines. Yes. The one that is teaching the official intelligence, the algorithm program to fight against that. Yes. So a big fight is going on against against the official intelligence. Just like I draw the analysis of the football World Cup or the football game, or you can look at draft, right? The defender and the offender, right? One wants to take over, right? I am not going to let you take over. So, by any means, if this one is a very big one. By the bullet or the ballot, meaning evil and fairness will give me victory, but may I forget victory, whether by the bullet or the ballot. One power, supremacy, right? Even if we get rid of some people on that side to lessen the count, so the bullet will take care of them, right? So if I cannot get victory by the ballot, I will get it by bullet. If I cannot get it through honesty, I am going to look it to craftiness, right? You get me? Yes. Let's hope you get me. Let's hope you are receiving me this morning. Eh? Let's hope you are receiving me this morning. Eh? Yes. Witchcraft is high and us, and we are paying no attention to the witchcraft workers. Right? Yes. Now, they mix up witchcraft with obia. Obia is resiliency against witchcraft. They stood up, but they spun it around and said obia is the damaging one. Now, witchcraft, you come out of the faculties of your mind because you have you have the ancients soul intelligence with you, so you can easily flip the script and turn it the other way. Remember me tell you, the power going clockwise and you want to go anti-clockwise. That's witchcraft. Right? Changing it from your brain, your faculties of your mind. That's why it is called witchcraft. Right? Changing it from the faculties of your mind. That's witchcraft. Cow jump over moon is witchcraft. They work on you. Now, when someone is dominant in certain fields, I heard them now, and I laugh at the terminologies. Usain Bolt is the goat of athletics, witchcraft. Chris Gale is the goat for cricket. And man, all of a sudden, want to be an animal, a goat, which is an animal. Right? That means you are the goat of dancehall. You hear the terminology getting louder and louder. But many doesn't know the effects or where it is coming from. Who's teaching? No wonder why you look at your children or your picking and call them kids. Because it's only goat have kids. No, 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 my friend. You are not an animal. It's easier you say you are the God for track and field, but not a goat. Yes? Yes. So you see, the craftiness. You want me explain it a little more to you? That uno no like live like these, uno support live like these. Uno will listen and garner the wisdom but you will never tap the screen. You will never send presenters like this a gift if if you can, because TikTok will lack off that kind of an option for you not to look important with the good message. So those faculties that are not strong would have said, you know, see nobody now support him, no listen to him. Remember then they said that to Christ. When Christ come and reveal the truth, then say the Sadducees and the Pharisees say, oh no, listen to him. No give him no support. Right? This is what is happening here. That's why people prefer not to support the good things on certain platform, right? Certain platform that is under the craftiness of witchcraft. Truth cannot prevail over there, right? Truth has been suppressed. But make insanity and all kind of misbehaving, yes, insult. Look and see how they flourish over there. But make you come with your nice, clean self, your nice, truthful self, and see if you get a gift or even likes. Witchcraft. The algorithm has been programmed by witchcraft, want to take the place of the Holy Spirit. And it can't. It will never. Neither today, tomorrow. So every year, every decade, uno go and have to put out the new world order. Right? Because what you're not waiting on is the algorithm that fully takes the place of the Holy Spirit. Let me tell you, it now happen, can't happen, will never happen. Neither 2030, 2040, 2050, 2060. All when me dead gone, it can't happen. Algorithm is no God. So don't bring it to me. And I'm not bowing down to no algorithm. I will bow down to God Almighty, who created this space on the knowledge for someone to make the device of the satellites to produce the algorithm. And so I can see you're fighting a losing battle. But what you use to stay afloat and relevant is intimidation. Right? That's what you use to stay afloat. Intimidation. If you don't, I will restrict you. If you don't, I will ban you. Right? If if you don't obey our community guidelines, then I will lock you off. Lock me off. Because I'm not going to bow. Right? I will forever speaking of the positiveness. I will ever speaking of God Almighty. Not I will ever fear God Almighty, but I will never ever fear the algorithm that is operating like it is God Almighty. It's a device you make. Man made that. Some man with high wisdom make it to compete against the Holy Spirit. Right? That can happen today, tomorrow, or no time. Right? So I want you to get that straight. I want you to get that straight. Yes, we're going back to the goat now. We are going back to the goat. Get that out of the way. And now look at the goat, or the terminology, the goat. I saw a video recently. Hear the place. Haiti. Hear the story. Prominent Jamaican artist has been threatened and warned by an Asian, well, by Haiti. He come from Haiti. They owed this man money for rigging their lives. Come on, follow me, or jump off of the live. Right? For rigging their lives. That everything that they do, even if it's not done good, they are successful. Yes, Papa Jesus. We're telling you about witchcraft, and it's witchcraft I'm telling you about. Mm. In order to be successful, they have, I understand, yes, an animal, the goat, that you will have to go and have sexual interaction with to achieve that feat. But to do so, it takes an enormous sum of money. Because that is the top at the top. That's why they look at the top sprinter and advertising that practice through the great man. Right? They looked at everyone at the top, right? To advertise that witchcraft, right? By calling him the goat of track and field, the goat of cricket, the goat of dancehall. Yes? Yes. Because you have to have certain sexual exchange with the goat. And if you do that with the goat, you are extremely powerful, they thought. And that's how they sell it, their product. That's how they're selling the goat. Right? That, remember, it moves from the, if you don't know, the monkey to the goat. Right? It was the monkey. Remember, come on, help me, ancient soul. Remember when the craze was the monkey, that you have to have certain interaction, sometimes sexual interaction with the monkey to garner certain power. That is plain witchcraft or wisdom craft. A man with high wisdom sit down and said, if I sell it this way and tell everybody coming like the vaccine and the big C, they look at the vaccine and know they check out how much, how much people in the world, and although them say the vaccine is for free, you're paying for the vaccine somewhere else in some other items, right? They only give you that smoke screen and said the vaccine is free. It is not for free because that's where the money make. That's where the money make, the vaccine. To prevent you from getting the disease, take the vaccine because if you're not taking it, you have a dead. Intimidations. Is intimidation runs witchcraft. Intimidation runs witchcraft. The man that uses the gun is witchcraft. The gun did not made in its initial stages to unalive people. The gun were made to scare the birds that eats the corn in the field. And man wisdom advanced, and it advanced into these dangerous weapons, witchcraft. The craftiness of the witches, the intelligent one, right? Right? That's witchcraft. Someone that is rich in knowledge. Sit down. Remember art and craft? Yeah? How you craft out the thing. And when they saw you that you have certain knowledge, they say, Tychicus is a crafty brother, you know. Him very crafty, marginal. Genial means genius, right? Then from genius you get generals. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how it is. Beat me, you cannot beat my word. So looking at the goat, the latest craze, and in Jamaica, you'll hear that lots of people traveling to Haiti to have an interaction with the goat, looking supremacy, looking power, right? But let me warn you and borrow peanut dread word. And you don't know peanut dread password. Radam is at your door. Sooner or later, Radam is at your door. As simple as that. Me no need to ball it out to you. Someone. I think I saw someone typing my name. I really choose. I don't want to be distracted. Oh, JT. All right. Mm. Yes, man, I'm okay. Yeah, JT. Right. And I gather you'd have heard that with the bulk of knowledge that is my ancient soul is providing with me with. I'm just a vessel passing it on to you this morning. Right? Right? When you put yourself in the position to gain knowledge, True knowledge from the souls of the ancient one, you will receive it. When I leave school, I could read and write. I could not read and write. Get my first job, official job, as a security guard, that I have to take a test. I used to do construction work, did not have to take a written test. Used to be a bus conductor, didn't have to take a written test. But when I am going crossing over in 19 what 89, Gilbert were 1988, 89, I decided that yes, I want a more official job, right? And the easiest one, I did love policing, but never had the brain. Yeah, right? So the security fields were the easier one for me to go into. And luckily, the one that I approached first, that one was on Carvalho Avenue. I don't know if it is still there, not calling the name. Yeah, and they did require my birth certificate, the original, and I never have much knowledge. Figure do a photocopy and thing. And I said, no, me not giving it. And they said they can't employ me. And me walk from Carvalho Avenue, go to Latham Avenue. I want to know, we not call the name 9 Latham Avenue. And there's some go. When I go reach there, the Wednesday evening, they said, or the Thursday, I think it's the Thursday, yes. They said, you're too late now, because we walk from Carvalho Avenue, you know, the Carvalho Avenue there. That is off Old Hope Road now, right? Yeah, God, Devon House, yeah, that's. And I walk from there, and you know that Latham Avenue is on Old Hope Road now, right? Up all up in New Kingston area there. And I did some walk also when me reach there, so me late. So then say you have to come back 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Right? When I go, it was seven of us there and me make eight. Seven of them and me make eight. And they open the gate and say, come in. When we're going, the first thing the man do, lock back the gate, and he said, it's only one thing. From you see me let you through this gate, you're employed. Wow. What a sweet redemption for this man. He can't read, me can't write, but look here, me get a job. And then don't know, say me can't read and me can't write. Not knowing the apparatus of a security work. Come it done like that. Them days there, the word security weren't all that popular. With that fields of work, they used to call them guardman or guardy. And in that time, that work was so downgrading because they had catch a security or a watchman. I think they said they are having certain sexual intercourse with an animal. So a stigma were placed over security that no one want to bear the name Gadi from that time. We know the history, right? We can tell you the history. Right? That people used to even hide and go join the security work because it was the fastest way of income for a low budget and someone with less intelligence. Right? because me never have none at all. But I got the job, but I have to beg to get it because when they ask, they're trying to do a background check immediately, right? And they started to ask for our previous occupation. I didn't. I used the last one. I moved from building to security, right? So I did not use building. I moved from building to conductor. So I did not use building when they asked me, what is your occupation? What you used to do? And I tell them, I used to be a bus conductor. And that's where the man threw down in pen. Same time. And stop talk. Me a ball person. He said, sir, we have already made a vow that we will never ever employ another ex-conductor because you, it is the same reason why we are recruiting men, because we have one here where we must get rid of in thief like a puss, and we had made a vow that we would have never employed another ex-conductor. We get the chance to sit down in a big company. Me not give up like that. Me not give up like that. Me not know where the boldness come from. But me say no, me not give up. I me not have to take a test. I me know me can't read and write. Will want a job. Yeah? Yeah? Young baby. Yeah? That's why me have to left conductor work. I know not pay me. Yeah? So me say me I go look a better job. And the man say him employ me. But you me was an ex-conductor. The man throw down him pen. So me started to beg him, sir. Mister, please, sir. The boldness. Come to me now. Say, please, sir. I promise you, sir. Give me a chance, sir. Me I beg you, sir. And me did that, me I plead to the man. And God make the phone ring. His phone ring. And he went in the office and answered the phone and come back out. And I said, class, wanna hear this man I beg me for a chance? You see how long me stay inside there? It is a location that want a man. And Mr. Ex-Conductor, are you we decided to send here? Go and prove yourself. Mighty God, I knew nothing about security work. When me go into the class, I teach me one, then teach me about security work. Me can't even read, but me can't tell them. Right? And it was a VIP home I was going to be guarding. I'm guarding. Right? A VIP, a very astute businessman in Jamaica from that time, and that it one of the biggest brand in Jamaica up till this very moment. He reside at the place that I'm to work, way up in the hills of Norbury. Yes. So they said, leave. You're going to leave the class, go inside and then get your uniform fit and the dress and give me everything. Go home and be back here by 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Right? Due to start 6 o'clock. Right? And I did all of that. Don't know how to do security work. When they took me on the location, post supervisor don't even know if me just come or not. And when me no know from when me no know. You just carry me, you throw me down there with one little radio, two-way radio, a button, and a barrier, right? And a logbook. Me can write. So me no know where them a do it log when me a do it logbook, right? Right? Me no know me a do it logbook, and me can read, me can write. So all I did on the location, no one coming in because the owner were busy at the stores and in nothing. That is a late night thing them run. So in our coming till 2 o'clock. Right? They just want somebody to lift the barrier and alert and make sure say they see him where them are coming in. Right? So I gone there. It was so countryish that is peony wally, cricket and crook lizard me ear. Quack, 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 tweet, 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 tweet. Never slept out. Prayed like a puss. Never slept out from my home. This is the very first night I am gonna sleep away from home. Right? So the fear were in me, not even sleep. I could have did sleep. Fear, trembling, and all that on the location. So in the wee hours of the night, I saw a light coming that time. The house and the guardhouse is a little way apart from their one another. So I saw this light coming up. So the fright, when me fright, not know what to do. Come me wouldn't thought. I lift the barrier and the owner drives in. And when he drives in, he looked at me and said, his word, oh, they changed him. They changed him. Oh, you are new here. I said, yes, sir. He said, I was just about to make another call to your company if I had come here and see that same security guard here, right? Because the previous night I come here and he was fast asleep. All the blow and blowing my horn, he was fast asleep. But you're so alert that I may do the wrong thing. But he's praising me for my alertness. He said, you are so alert. I didn't have to blow you. It's man like you I want to work at my place. In fact, I'm going to call the company and tell him not to remove you from here. Right? Now, me today, I mean, I pray to God, say, and even planning nobody with the work. If a place like those me have to work, me not going back. And this man I come tell me, say, him go and call the company and tell me, send me off move me from there. With my ignorance, with my negligence, that I have committed there, right? 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 Lift up the barrier and don't even find out who me I let in, right? Don't even lag in the man. And the man say, I mean, you want it. God move in a mysterious way with wonders to perform, right? Right? But it so happens that God answered my prayer, and it's the only night I work at that place. Never. It was the Friday night, the Saturday. I didn't call for any duty, but I was told that I must come Monday morning, 8 o'clock for a duty and Swallowfield Road. And that duty, I on that location, I spent 11 years on that location, right? And the duties were so short that two ends could meet. So I learned the craft of security work and now started to work at night at more sophisticated location And that's how I learn to read and to write. Early in the morning, when the gleaner man drop off the gleaner, the chat, the daily news, or whatever, I pull them out, and that's where I learn this deep level of meditation. Right? Me alone in a them big building there, but only thing I'm enclosed, locked away, right? And my only company was myself. So I becomes a friend of myself and myself. Now, giving time for the ancient soul to teach me how to read, how to write, how to spell, how to comprehend, and how to maneuver myself, how to navigate myself, right? Right? And I've been doing that for years, right? Until I can read. I started to travel with my little blue Bible. It was my only company at night when everybody gone, lock up the place, me, myself, and the thing they did there with my Bible, and I started to study the word. I started to search up the library. We started to find books that I can read, and I'm now a good reader. Uh, yes, I learned to read. I learned to write. I learned to comprehend. So my journey to where I am is not an easy one, and the exciting thing about it, my education is organic, right? My education is organic. Is the That's why I can speak so strongly of the ancient soul providing me with the official intelligence, not the artificial. It's artificial intelligence you get at the college, the university. But when the ancient soul is teaching you, the ancient soul teach you of the official intelligence. And that's how balance come into being now. How to balance the official intelligence with the artificial intelligence. Right? Now, this is where a lot of people run into trouble. Right? The balance. That's why when God created the universe, he created male and female, male to balance the female, female to balance the male. So when you hear me said, um, sex must not be sold, but it ought to be shared. It's a balance to be maintained between the male and the female. TikTok, please don't send me no restriction at this point in time, because I'm gonna talk. I have to mention homosexuality. I know your algorithm get very agitated anytime I mention homosexuality. But please don't show up your ID this morning. Keep your ID in that secluded place. The same way. Eh? Right? Right. That's that's how the balance came in between a male and a female. Right? Artificial intelligence tried to change that. All girls school, all boys schools. That means you grow up in an environment of the same sex, and you automatically start feel that and start to get that emotional feelings, right? That kind of a feelings for your one another. That is how they take time and filtered it in, right? And to this point and time, using artificial intelligence as a screen and a bypass for the wrongs of man to man and woman to woman, right? And that is why artificial, because all these work are artificially done to witchcraft, human craftiness. So the subtleness. So please, when you heard I said, right, more sexual immoralities goes on in the circles of the church more than what happened in New Kingston in the gully and back road, right? Yes, it's true. But one more subtle, when I use the word sophisticated, right? They are more subtle in doing it in the church more than back road, right? Or New Kingston gully, right? Yes. They are more subtle in the church. And when I touch those points, the guilt of men started to pour out, and they will attack you. If they cannot attack you physically, they use the craftiness of the algorithm, send in report to the algorithm, and the algorithm, as it is programmed by a man, right? When certain amount of report comes on one individual, it comes up and said you are restricted, and you can no say a program that, because it will tell you nudity, sexuality, this, and you are not saying anything derogative. That means sex must not be heard on their app. The right way of sex must not be mentioned on their app, or else they can lock you off. They want the knowledge that I am imparting to remain in the dark to those that they are targeting for the 2030, 2040 visions. So, man like me, not going to have an easy passage, easy flow in this time, because right becomes wrong and wrong becomes right to man's craftiness, witchcraft. So, witchcraft is hard at work here, but only those with the knowledge can see it. I think in Matthew chapter 19, when Jesus was asked about the divorce, he said, he was explaining to the disciples, and he said, for there are several reasons why a man cannot be married. I wonder if I can find that. Let's see if I can find that. Matthew chapter 19. Let's see if I can find that. It is very important here, as that had dropped into my spirit. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Put on the park and name with your hand. Yeah, yes, it is in St. John's. Do not see it here. All right. All right. All right. Let's see from verse 8. All right, from verse 7. The Pharisees asked him, meaning the Pharisees asked Jesus, why then did Moses give the law for a man to hand his wife a divorce notice and send her away? Right? Yet this is how Jesus answered him. This is how he answered. Verse 8. Moses gave you permission to divorce your wife because you are so hard to teach. Right? To get to the bottom of this story, you got to know what is divorce. What is the meaning of divorce? To get to the irony of the story, you got to stop and look and say, divorce. How you divorce? Right? They said divorce is to set apart what has been joined. Right? Set apart what has been joined. And for a balance, like an axle in a hub, the male and the female has to balance, tied together, then set apart. So they asked Jesus, why then did Moses have to give a written statement while the man could just left, pull out and go on? And Jesus let them know it is because you know how to teach. Taurus Riley say the simplest thing are your blessing. And as simple as that, to join and to divorce, you know one big stick. And the big stick is the law that Moses bring over. Because you don't like to work and to live at your own free will. You need control. So Jesus didn't done with them, you know. Jesus didn't done. Jesus didn't done with him. The Pharisees asked him, oh, yeah, let me read that. Jesus answered, Moses gave you permission to divorce your wife because you are so hard to teach. So Jesus goes on to say, but it was not like that at the time of creation. You never, what Jesus is saying here, you never need a big stick over you. When this law, the ancients of days, before the advent of money, man and money, right? Before money, you did not need to sign the divorce because before money, this level of corruption weren't around. This level of greed weren't around. Money bringing all of those into being. Yes? Money bring in all of those into being. Yes. Yes. All of those. Is that after the advent of money, man started to get ravalicious and greedy. Right? So before he said, but it was not like that at the time of creation. We know in the time that if a man want a wife, a buy him have to buy the wife. Because if you don't have any money, you're not gonna get anyone to marry to join with. Right? But Jesus is clearly saying here, but it was not so. Listen to the question they asked him. The Pharisees asked, why then did Moses give the law for a man to hand his wife a divorce notice and send her away? No, you cannot divorce unless you were joined. But the Bible didn't tell you the way they were joined. But Jesus is saying you never use a ring to join. You never need no documents to join. But because you're so hard to teach, yeah, we have to use the craftiness of the law to make you know, say, if you send away your wife without a cause, you have to go pay the penalty. Right? That's why Moses bringing the law. Right? So Jesus answered, Moses gave you the permission to divorce your wife because you are so hard to teach. But it was not like that at the time of creation. Jesus never done. Verse 9 said, I tell you then that any man who divorces his wife for any cause other than her unfaithfulness, what we call bond, unfairness. The man I go out there and I work in money, right? And I get the balance from her, right? The man go broke the rock stone, go build the house, right? Go see to it that she is comfortable, and the man, what the man need to continue is her balance. She now cook no food, she now wash no clothes. That's why selling of sex is wrong, right? Right? You're not doing that, but you are obtaining the man's energy, right? That transfer into money is his personal energy, transfer into money, and he's taking it onto you. And all you required was to balance him, keep him close clean, keep him this, right? Give him, he cannot get the female balance from himself. So he'll have to get it from you. And if you lack of that, then you call it unfaithfulness. And even worse, a one who is not providing you with all of this is inheriting that. That means you are taking the man's wealth, the man's strength, the man's energy, and giving it to a next man. So that is unfaithfulness. Yeah, that is unfaithfulness. So that's why he said, I tell you then, if any man who divorces his wife for any cause other than her unfaithfulness commits adultery if he marry some other woman. But as long as he keep his end of the bargain, if that woman continue to burn him, give him not pay him that and say, me not look on him, for them style that. Me not even look on him, You lock shop on him, and you still expect him to work the money, bring it come. You are unfaithful. You are an unfaithful wife. And the man has all right to walk out on you without even notice. Right? Without even notice. And if it is the same thing with the woman is providing you with all you need. What your clothes, keep you clean, do everything, brush your teeth, give you sexual balance and everything, and you still a betrayer. Left him. That's what the Bible means. Right? Divorce. Right? You don't have no penalty to get. But if you do it either way unfairly, penalty pound the backside from the creator, right? The creator, right? Right. So listen what him said. His disciples said to him, all right, let me read it and flow it so you understand. I tell you then that any man who divorces his wife or any cause other than her unfaithfulness commits adultery if he marry some other woman. And the marry means to merge, to join with the organs of life, the male and the female's organ. It is not ring and the contractual agreement. Marry merges you. That's what Jesus was trying to show them. And that merges you. What merges you is the connections of the organs, and the commitment. And the commitment, yes, the commitment, yes, the commitment of the individual, right? That's what merges you. The commitment. Yeah? That is what merges you. Now, listen, why he said that. His disciples said to him, if this is how it is between a man and his wife, it is better not to marry. Or if it is so complicated, if it is so difficult, say better me stay like me staying this way. Right? I go 7 years and don't marry, don't have no sexual activities. Right? 7 years. At that time, not so now. Right? Right? But to build my spirituality, I go 7 years without sexual activities. Right? Right? Now, listen how unique the teaching is. The disciples said to him, if this is so, if this is how it is between a man and his wife, it is better not to marry. And I want to quickly point out to you, in those days, every woman, the word wife is a title. From you're born a woman, you are a title. You get the title of wife. And from you're born a man, you get the title of husband. Right? That's why in olden days, the old time people used to describe sex as a wife you want. Right? Every night you come, you want a wife and you're not bring no money. Right? So sex is known in those days as wife. Right? And every female did known as wife and the man as husband. Right? It's a title. Right? See it here? Mm. Right? Mm. Yeah, yes. If this is how it is between a man and his wife, not this woman, it is better not to marry. That's what the disciples thought. Right? Now, verse 11, Jesus answered them in a profound way. And here Jesus to them. This teaching, this teaching does not apply to everyone. Only those with the knowledge can comprehend this. Right? So it doesn't apply because people who have been taught by the ancient soul will know this, but people who are going to be manually taught don't know this. But people who have been taught by the ancient soul or your ancestors, they will teach you this, right? Mm-mm. So Jesus is saying this teaching does not apply to everyone, but only to those whom God has given it, right? Given the okay to say ancient soul, teach that, provided the energy, right? And you were taught just like how I am self-taught. Right? To read, I tell you, that's the reason why I go right around and tell you the story. Could read and write, didn't go to an institutional, a learning institutional class to read and write. I do it through my loneliness on this and the security work location, me alone. So me learn how to meditate, and and resonate, right? Yeah, right. Me learn all of those things with the ancient soul. For there are different reasons why men cannot marry. Wow, which reason? Come on. For there are different reasons why men cannot marry. Every man. So if God were talking the finger and the paperworks, right? He wouldn't say this. Cause to marry, nowadays how we construct our wedding. All we want to have is money, money, money for buy long gown, no food for people can eat and drink. You know, yes, nowadays. Yeah, mm, nowadays. Mm. So, for there are different reasons of one way people married now, no different reason. Right? If the man have money and the woman pretty, yes, that's the way they're married now. No, woman bumper flare, even if a Dominican Republic then go and craft them with silicone body, right? Witchcraft, that is witchcraft as well. That anything that is deceptive is witchcraft, right? Right? The silicone body, right? To deceive you that you are a good, nice, shaped woman, not to put your integrity into place. See a man's face, you don't see his heart. Yes? So you're not seeing one's integrity, but you're run got married because her outer appearance and her flare backside, which were orchestrated in the Dominican Republic by a scalper over there who makes the silicone body parts. And you are crafted out of your natural mind, natural sense, out of your energy to say you have a wife. That's why when I said it is more sophisticated in the church, right? But people levels are low, right? Right? For there are different reasons why men cannot marry. Some because they were born that way, others because men made them that way. Can we look at they were born that way first, then we look at some men made them that way. You have people naturally born a eunuch, a eunuch. God knew why he makes them a eunuch to do his work. Remember the Ethiopian eunuch, he was bright, right? Yes, he was bright in academic, but not in spiritual knowledge. Right? So you can be a eunuch for a purpose, and only God knows the purpose. When you were born dysfunctional, right? So you cannot have sexual relationship, right? God knew, and if you tried to, pervert it, then you will lose that power by placing artificial instrument, right? Because you were not made to have sex. You were not made to merge with anybody, because God has made you for the purpose he wants you to, right? Right? So that's why I said, for there are many different reasons why men cannot marry. Some because they were born that way, right? Those are the one we were speaking of a while ago. Others because men made them that way. Men castrate them, right? Men, what you call it, of surgery, right? Right? Some people have lost that power in their genitals by various sickness, right? And they have lost that, and even the genetically modified food too, that lessen your sexual urges, right? So man made them that way that they cannot have a standing ovation to till the soil and plant the seeds. All right? Jesus was making it plain to them. Right? And I'm even making it plainer to you. Because he said, greater works you shall do. Right? 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 So some because they were born that way, others because man made them that way, and others do not marry for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. My 7 years being a eunuch is that I make myself that way. That means I am subject to change whenever time I wanted to. So after 7 years, I changed and returned to my sex life. Right? And with that, I have immense power in both spiritual, sexual, and physical ability because of that 7 years that I have made myself a eunuch, building my spirituality. Huh? Right? Get it? Time is running out. So others, because men made them that way, and others do not marry for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Let him who can accept this teaching do so. Argument done. So if my time explaining this to you and you cannot accept it, in other words, for your business, I make sure tell you, and I make sure break it down to you. Right? If you want to believe it or not, that the ancient, I am just a vessel, and I am just a vessel for the ancient soul that has the official knowledge passing on to you, and you want to go with the mix up philosophies of different religions, and by witchcraft, the craftiness of men, to pull you away from the righteousness of the Almighty. Remember, one spirit goes clockwise, one goes anti-clockwise. Remember to go with the flow, the one that taking you clockwise. Don't go anti-clockwise, because you will end up with the Antichrist. Right? It is the Antichrist energy that goes anti-clockwise. So when you are running from the front, human being running to the back of the female, men do not want the organ at the front. They want the organ at the back. They are kicking against the prick and going under the umbrella of the Antichrist. Backshot are my favorite position, not mine. Antichrist, I have nothing to do with you. I go clockwise. I don't go anti-clockwise. That's where we're gonna leave it this morning. Just you live and you learn this morning. My people on Facebook, my people on Instagram, my people, yes, on YouTube. Having said that, before I close, let me tell you what is on my screen just now. Live discontinued in some regions. Your live is not appropriate for viewers in all regions and has been discontinued in some regions. Body exposure. Have you seen me exposing my body? Right? Witchcraft. This is witchcraft. Right? And sexualized behavior. Have you seen and this is on my screen right now. I don't take it off as yet. Right? People who have been watching me from 3:45 or 2:45 there about. Have you seen anybody exposure? Have you seen any sexualization? Have you seen what we are teaching? Divorce and breaking it down. Yeah? So how can this be right? How can this be right? Radam is awaiting you TikTok argument done. Please to subscribe to my YouTube channel, People's Progressive Science. Let's build that channel. Yes, because sooner or later, the one, it's not all that glitter is gold. And the one that is now fancied will soon be the non-fancied one. Take it from the ancient soul.